Chancellor Peterson, Dean Whiteside, colleagues, graduates, parents, friends, and family members. I am moved and deeply grateful to my university for the honor of this degree and also for the opportunity to address this convocation. Graduating from university is always among the most memorable occasions in one's life. Let me begin, therefore, by offering you my warmest congratulations. Convocations differ widely, but they have one thing in common. Very few graduates remember much that the convocation speaker said. I am delighted, nevertheless, to share with you some of my own perspective on the life adventures that you are about to begin. I have had the privilege of being a member of this incredible university for almost 50 years. It is a marvelous place. One of the things that has endured throughout those decades is the remarkable quality of the students. However, even your prodigious ability to learn will be tested in the years ahead. Innovation and research are transforming all the health-related disciplines at a rapid pace. Thus, while it's an exciting and promising period in medical history, it also poses challenges. Speaking of medical history, please permit me a brief look backwards. As you know, one of the greatest scientific events here at the University of Toronto, and in fact globally, was the discovery of insulin in 1921 in our Department of Physiology. A number of our students, and even some staff members, were convinced for some time that I personally participated in the discovery of insulin. However, contrary to that popular belief, I'm not 120 years old yet. At the same time, I happily acknowledge that this discovery not only had a profound effect on the world, but also altered the course of my life. I had the privilege of becoming the last postdoctoral fellow of Professor Charles Best, a co-discoverer of insulin. So it was that I learned firsthand from Charles Best how the amazing discovery took place and how it affected everyone closely associated with it. I urge you to take the time to learn the human stories behind various medical discoveries that have shaped modern healthcare. Your appreciation of the changes in the knowledge base will be greatly enhanced if you can put new advances into perspective. Aside from the sense of perspective, what else might help you to thrive in the years ahead? I do not have any magic formula, but I would go so far as to suggest 3 keys to a fulfilling life: passion, originality, and perseverance. Let me start with passion. It's equivalent of the GPS for the road of life. Sometimes it may take a little while to recognize what you are actually passionate about. For example, when I was in an Italian concentration camp, I took classes in Latin. My teacher, in despair, told me that I might be better suited to milking the cows. I milked the cows with great enthusiasm, but without success. At the end of the day, I was returned to the Latin teacher. It was 10 years later when I stumbled into the field that was to become my life's work. I have never regretted for one instant my commitment to the life in medical research and education. It has been a wonderful journey, and I hope yours is every bit as fulfilling as mine has been. The second attribute I believe will chart your course is originality. The great American poet Robert Frost, in his famous piece, The Road Not Taken, captured what I have seen so many successful people do. He writes, I shall be telling this with a sigh. Some were ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. Indeed, all of us are always facing major choices. Please consider taking the road less traveled. This is the route to originality, which in my opinion is the key to making a difference to any discipline or profession. I would add in this respect that in many professions, especially medicine, things move so quickly that it's easy to run down the road at breakneck speed, never stopping to smell the flowers. I urge you all to remember the inspiration that can be derived from great music and enduring insights of great literature. For example, some 120 years ago, the great Russian writer Fyodor Dostoevsky, in his book The Brothers Karamazov, spoke about the problem with too many specialties in medicine. That was 120 years ago. He said that soon there would be a different specialty for both the left and right nostrils. Please try to be enough of a generalist to put the pieces together, be in patient care, research, teaching, or anything else you do. I come now to the final and most difficult key. Let's assume that you have found what you are passionate about and that you have innovative and original ideas. I believe there is something else equally important, and that something is perseverance. Life can be unfair, and it can be tough. It's not easy to get new and original ideas accepted. In that respect, I titled a recent retrospective, Odyssey Between Scylla and Charybdis, Through Storms of Carbohydrate Metabolism and Diabetes. You may recall that Scylla and Charybdis were two sea monsters in Greek mythology described by Homer. They were located close enough to each other that they posed an inescapable threat to passing sailors, including Odysseus. Avoiding Charybdis meant passing too close to Scylla, and vice versa. Life is full of such challenges. It may sometimes feel as if you need the legendary strength and perseverance of Odysseus to avoid being devoured by sea monsters. But you can and must persevere. After all, sometimes things aren't as bad as they seem. Let me give a personal example. About 20 years ago, I had a stroke. On the second day, a neurologist told my wife that the prognosis was terrible because I had been unable to answer even simple questions. My wife asked him what questions I had failed to answer. The neurologist replied that I had been unable to identify the parts of a watch, face and hands. To which she replied, "He's an immigrant. He never learned those words." Try asking him about diabetes. In a moment, the neurologist returned with a big smile, saying, "He's perfectly normal." I'm not sure I have ever been perfectly normal. And I still haven't learned the different parts of the watch. However, I did go to some of the best years of my career after that serious illness that turned out to be a lot less serious than was first imagined. The messages are simple. Be sensible. Keep a sense of humor. Remember that Canada is an incredibly diverse and multicultural country where not everyone will be perfectly fluent in English. The best is yet to come, and I wish you nothing but great success and happiness from this magical day forward. Again, warmest congratulations to each and every one of you, and thank you for letting me share this day with you and your loved ones.